Hello, is this recording? Oh.
End of the road, pal.
Welcome to the only Flourite guide for Flourite as a main DPS. A lot of people seem to really love her design.
No, I'm the ICGIRL.
Yeah. No, myself not included. Today we will cover Flourite's lore, base kit, her stats, weapons, gear, and teams. At the end, we will cover pros and cons to using Flourite. My name is Sky Pillowpuff, and my experience is based on Genshin Impact and Destiny 2. I have another channel that covers VTuber content. If you like my content here, please check me out on my main channel. Thank you. Flourite is a former Bandermerc, cunning and avaricious. She was recruited by Akakuri for her sense of justice and her skill set.
What is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort?
Through great effort, indeed. Here is Flourite's comrades and what they have to say about her.
Some people are scared of Flourite because of the way she speaks and her background. But if you get to know her, you'll see the courage and sense of justice beneath that hood. Trust me, you won't regret it.
I knew Bandermercs like her. Cunning, avaricious souls who kept to themselves, whose smiles looked scarier than their growls. But Flourite started discussing techniques for throwing Originium slugs with Antal, so I guess we could give her some time before getting judgmental.
I tend to get partnered up with Flourite. She kept laughing at things I said, and even encouraged me to say more. I guess people and their minds can be quite complicated.
I consider Flourite to be a fellow scaly friend of mine to some degree. I find her strong, powerful tail attractive, but she forbade me from making tactile assessments.
Good lord.
Flourite is also an artful conversationalist. I can learn much from her.
Okay, we're not all as thirsty as Andal, or, maybe not. Right now, Flourite is one of 3 characters that are nature-based, and the only 4-star that is nature-based. This becomes important later on when we're discussing teams. For now, let's go over to the base kit. Operators' kits are divided into 2 categories, talents and combat. Flourite's talent kit is a series of 4 attacks, with the final attack being called the Final Strike, dealing 15 stagger damage. You also have a dive attack, and a finisher once the boss meets the stagger bar. Tiny Surprise is Flourite's battle skill. She kicks an improvised explosion that sticks to the target, applying slow and exploding after a short duration. The explosion deals nature damage and nature infliction to the enemies in the area of effect. Defeating the target also sets off an improvised explosive immediately. Only one improvised explosive can be present in the battlefield. Flourite's combo trigger triggers when an enemy has 2 or more stacks of cryo infliction or nature infliction. When the trigger occurs, she shoots the target to trigger a special explosion that deals nature damage and applies another arts infliction of the element already on the enemy. Apex Prankster. Flourite quickly moves in an arc and rapidly fires at the target within the arc to deal 4 sequences of nature damage. If an improvised explosive has been stuck to the target, the skill detonates immediately and increases the damage and the size of the explosion. If the final damage sequence hits a target with at least 2 stacks of cryo infliction or nature infliction, then it applies the same arts infliction again. The first row talent nodes become fully unlocked once the operator's trust becomes 100%. With Flourite, she gets 10, 15, 15, and 20 agility. Each operator comes with 2 special sets of talent skills. For Flourite, it's increased damage against slow targets, first at 10%, then 20%. The other is a 20% chance of arts damage immunity, meaning that if someone attacks you with a special type of art, like fire or cryo, Flourite has a 20% chance of evading that. When that triggers, Flourite gets a 10% attack bonus on the first note, and on the second note, she gets 20. All operators also have 2 base skills. So the first one is in relation to the growth chamber, and the second one is in relation to the control nexus. That's it for the skills and talents. Moving on to the weapon. Going over attributes, so every two characters has two main and secondary attribute. Those are reflective of the amount of attack increase that you get. Your main attribute gives you a boatload of attack increase, and your secondary gives you not as much. I think it's like 1/3 of where your main attribute has. Here you can see that I have 50% crit rate on my Flourite, and I think everyone has 50% critical damage. I think that's standard across the board. So for me, I'm focusing on just trying my best to focus on agility. It's actually kind of hard to focus it. So my attack right now is only 3k. I think a lot of people's builds have their levitates reach up to 6k. So that's the ultimate in-game bonus you would want. Not all attributes are useless. For instance, for Flourite specifically, I have strength and will. Will gives me a 9.1 treatment receive bonus, so I get 91% more healing, and strength gives me extra base HP for 450. Do keep in mind with the other attributes that you get diminishing returns the more you invest into them, because the percentages aren't as high, but it's not totally wasted if you get a piece of armor that is slotted for the lesser two of the stats. So for a main DPS, focus on agility and intellect when you can. Moving on to the weapon. The primary weapon of my choice is the wedge, but if you try to switch weapons, there's a button that allows you to see the recommended weapons. It's split between matching skills and matching stats. I think to note with the weapons is that there's 3 line items for each weapon. The first 2 are stat related, and the last one being skill. So the weapon recommendations is based off of matching skills and matching stats. For a main DPS Flourite build, I recommend the wedge, and for a sub DPS build, I'll actually recommend OBJ Velocitus. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but the OBJ weapon would be preferable for a sub DPS role. The reason I choose the wedge to be my primary weapon is due to the raw damage and critical rate that provides it. I'm going for a just raw crit rate, basic attack damage build with my main Flourite, because I'm just going to have her mainly on my field, and then everyone else is just going to use her battle skills and ultimates. And for the sub DPS role, I'm recommending the OBJ because it synergizes with her bomb and ultimate abilities, so she can pretty much fit in any other team. Moving on to gear, I picked the MI Security for its raw crit rate, attack damage, and critical rate bonuses. It also has one specifically for increasing basic attack abilities, and just bonus basic attack damage, which is really good for having her on the field. Moving on to potentials. Potentials for 4 stars are pretty lackluster. It's just raw stat bonuses and add nothing special to the overall characters, except for the P5, which enhances her current abilities as opposed to other characters whose potentials are supreme. So going over the abilities, the construct of a team is going to be relatively the same. Flourite as the main DPS, a cryo applicator or initiator, someone that can provide stagger, and someone that can provide extra damage or heals. So in this particular case, a very non-free-to-play scenario. And with this team, I got very lucky with the Pobos. I have Levitate, Last Ride, and Ember. Ember provides the stagger, fills the stagger role with her combo skill and battle skill, and Levitate is here because I'm pretty good at dodging for the most part, and I don't need the healing from Ardelio, so I go for Levitate for main DPS. Alternatively, you can replace Levitate with Ardelia or Zaihi to get a more boost on the cryo infliction part of this build. Alternatively, you can replace Ember with Snowshine. Snowshine does fill the stagger capabilities that Ember has, but is very, high skill in that you need to land the parry every time from Snowshine's battle skill. If you don't do that, then it's going to be very difficult for you to advance forward. And Zaihi is a good alternative to Ardelia in this team comp because of the cryo focus and also being able to apply more cryo infliction faster. A very free-to-play friendly team is going to be Zaihi, Snowshine, and Ardelia. Thankfully, Ardelia's that's the only 6-star that was given for free, aside from the one that you've chosen. But here's the team that's all around. Also, and some might say that, oh, Last Right's carrying the damage of this team. That's not really the idea. Last Right synergizes with Flourite's, basic attack abilities with her battle skill, right? And it's just a chain combination to land a bunch of combos and ultimates on top of each other. And the time in between is going to be situated around, and the time in between is going to be compensated by Flourite's basic attack skills and attacks. So something silly that I discovered while playtesting Flourite's build and skill sets and teams is that she struggles a lot with single target damage. So here I was only doing like 7k on final strikes, but then I started dive attacking and I get 8k per shot. The only catch is I have to get up close. So the first 3 sequences, even on crit, match one single dive attack on crit. So technically I can spam dive attacks all day and I'll DPS my current sequence rotation. The reason I would need to do final strikes is mainly for proccing Last Right's battle skill. So if you have a horde of enemies, just start dive attacking, especially if you don't have SP. And it's also a good way to generate SP over time once you burn through everything, or in the case that you don't have an SP unit that generates SP for you. So that covers everything I wanted to go over for Flourite's build, guides, gear, and everything in between. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and consider liking and subscribing to the video. If you have any questions going forward, leave an additional comment as to what you would like to see in the future. Thank you.